Let's talk about building resilience, specifically how to handle that universal sting of rejection, because it gets to all of us. We're going to dive into a really powerful way to think about it. So, have you ever had that feeling? You face a setback, a failure, and then you just feel stuck. Like you're caught in a loop where one bad thing just seems to lead to another, and you can't figure out how to break free. Yeah, it's a feeling pretty much everyone has been through. Well, that feeling, it isn't just you. It's actually a predictable pattern, a kind of psychological trap, and it has a name, the vicious cycle. The thing is, this is a documented feedback loop. It's not just in your head. And the very first step to breaking out of any pattern is to see it for what it is, to give it a name, and to really understand how it works. So what is this vicious cycle? Well, it's basically a feedback loop from hell. You try something, you fail, and that failure eats away at your confidence. And with less confidence, you're way less likely to try again, right? And that's how the cycle just keeps feeding itself. Let's just break it down. It's a simple and kinda brutal 1, 2, 3 punch. Step 1, a setback happens. You get rejected, you make a mistake, whatever. Step 2, your self-belief takes a massive hit. And then step 3, you think, why would I ever risk feeling that way again? So you just stop. And boom, the cycle is locked in. You're trapped. And what keeps this whole engine running? It's the story we tell ourselves inside our own heads. It's those thoughts like, I'm just not smart enough, or, see, I knew no one likes me. That little voice becomes all the proof we need to just give up. Okay, but what if you could actually rewrite that internal script? What if you could change the program? That's what brings us to part 2, reprogramming your mind. This is where we stop just looking at the problem and start taking back control. And here's the most important thing to hear right now. Even though that cycle feels permanent, like a prison you can't escape, it's absolutely not. It's just a learned behavior. And anything that's been learned can be unlearned. It can be replaced with something way, way better. So the tool we're going to use for this is called reprogramming. And this isn't about wishful thinking. It's an active, conscious process. It means that when you hear that negative voice pop up, you consciously say, nope. And then, and this is the key part, you take a real physical action specifically designed to prove that thought wrong. I mean, just look at the difference here. The old program is so passive, so defeated. No one likes me. It's a conclusion. But the new program, that's a mission statement. I will prove this wrong. It's active. It's defiant. You're not just hoping the thought goes away. You are literally declaring war on it. Okay, I know what you're thinking. That sounds great, but how? How do you actually prove a thought like, I'm not smart enough, wrong? That feels like trying to move a mountain with a shovel. Well, the answer is actually a lot simpler than you'd think. You don't start by trying to conquer the whole mountain in one go. You start by doing what are called small, impossible things. Just tiny, concrete actions that are just a little bit outside of what you think you can do. So here's how you build it step by step. First, you just identify one small, totally manageable fear. Maybe it's speaking up just once in a meeting, or sending that one email you've been putting off. Second, you just do it. You take that one tiny action. And third, you use the little bit of confidence you get from that small win to build momentum for the next one. Every single action becomes another piece of evidence that your old negative story was wrong. Now, when you start taking these small actions, something really profound starts to happen. It leads to a complete shift in how you see failure itself. And that brings us to part 3, rejection is practice. Because once you start putting yourself out there, even in these small ways, you're going to realize that not every attempt is going to be a home run. Some will fail. And that's not just okay, that's the whole point. This is the ultimate mindset shift. This right here is the core idea. Every time you get a no, every single time something doesn't work out, it is not a final judgment on you or your worth. It's just a training session. It's practice. You're just getting your reps in for the time that it is going to work. So why is this so incredibly powerful? Because it completely changes the game. It takes all the personal sting out of rejection. Suddenly, it's not about you failing as a person. Instead, you're just focused on the process of trying. A negative event actually becomes a positive step forward because it's building that resilience muscle you need for the long run. So if you take away just one thing, let it be this. The event itself, the rejection, the failure, that doesn't get to define you.
Your perspective on that event, that is where all your power is. You can choose to see it as a verdict, or you can choose to see it as practice.
So I'll just leave you with this one question. What's one small, seemingly impossible thing that you are going to do today to start reprogramming your own mind?